Okay, we got 31 minutes and 49 seconds on this one. Interesting. Yeah, this is quite interesting because every great person you literally read on in history, they're literally wired to live their own philosophy and their own obsessions. And for instance, the funny thing is the irony of Albert Camus' life. My man was terrified of actually living an absurd life and dying an absurd death. He literally emphasizes that dying in a car crash would be very anticlimactic and absurd. And he goes to be the cornerstone of the forefather of um, absurdist philosophy. And surprise, surprise, my guy dies in a car accident. Take another guy, the conditioning dog guy. I forgot his name. I literally read on 50 people a day. So this guy was awarded a Nobel Prize for digestion while starving to death and surviving on tea and bread. So you see the pattern that either you live a life of your obsession, and neuroscientifically it could be true as well. You literally wire your brain towards that. That's why they say fake it till you make it. Picasso was literally screaming his genius when he was stealing food. And the greatest athletes in history are performing their identity decades before any recognition. The kid prodigies are performing for stadiums full of packed people while they are 8 years old. Someone wants to be a singer, someone wants to be an athlete, whatever. So the pattern is that all my life I've been obsessed with this notion of existence itself, not like the philosophers kind of point of view that what is life, why live, that is kind of highlighted by their actual circumstances. For instance, the pessimism of Schopenhauer comes from his sourness that he wanted fame when he was 20 years old because that was the only thing he didn't have. And he got the fame he wanted so bad at 50, 60 years old. So by then, he literally got the fame through his pessimism because that was the peak of his obsession with the idea of fame that made him realize, okay, fuck that. And the moment he literally said fuck that, he was famous. And that's the absurdist kind of scenario. For me, the whole philosophy of life has always been that you need to have efficiency to the maximum, that you literally get everything in life has to offer, but you never forget that none of it is gonna make life interesting other than the actual pursuit itself. And there is actually a nice kind of hack to it as well because the pursuit is gonna be cut short because you don't live eternally. But we have like 700 languages in the world. You're not gonna learn all of them. We got like 8 billion people on the planet. You're not gonna meet all of them, you know? So, and I need to drop the, um, uh, mental tick from my tongue as well is kind of annoying. So, my obsession has always been with the power, the sovereignty, the synthesis of disparate things. And I just don't understand, like, no matter how random it gets, every everything happening in my life is just pushing me towards that dream. Even you're gonna understand soon the purpose behind these videos as well, that I'm not gonna reveal anytime soon before actually um, the next stage of operation has been fulfilled. Every single second of my life is forcing meaning on me rather than me pattern recognizing meaning in the chaos. And it starts getting more and more intense the further down the road I get. The disparity of disastrous kind of acquaintances and just random shit is intensifying so bad that I literally have this idea that it's like this obsession that I'm kind of like stumbling on my words as well, but there's this idea that everyone believes life is not fair, and I have had fundamental problem with that ever since I was a kid even. But knowing my background, born in Iran in a very shitty family and very fucked up environment, I never called life unfair, because fairness to me is that fluctuation of rules in different circumstances. But no, the rules are clear as day. The implication and implementation of those rules could be used unfairly, but the rules are fair because if you literally fall off a bike based on your weight, based on the rules of physics, you're gonna get injury based on the velocity of your movement and all of the technical stuff. But when it comes to fate, such a like big word, destiny, or path of a human, and the trajectory of a life, everything seems so random. But when you look at it closely, it's actually not random at all. It's either the self-sabotage of a person that they don't even understand they are self-sabotaging by limited beliefs and just not taking action or whatever. But sometimes it's just even not that. It's like the perception of reality itself. Because it's like if there is a randomness to the universe, even the entropy can be conquered through sheer number, because There is a theory, I don't know, I invented this theory or there is some background basis to this theory, but this theory has crystallized in my belief system that there is a weight of destiny. There is this weight of influence in cosmic scale that, for instance, everyone influences the world around them. You cannot find a human being that is not influencing another human being, because the most secluded person orders food. The most secluded person buys a house. The most minimal interaction with a human being reflects your reflection of the world you live in, and that has a ripple effect. But the effect has the scale and range based on capability and fuck that identity, that fucking Elon Musk can have one obvious sentence, but because of his name, his pedigree of accomplishments, that word is gonna be resonating deeper with more people than the same word from another person. So, in the large scale of the cosmos and universe, these big words, every human has a weight as well. Some shape historical implications. Let's say the bastardized version of Marxism. Marx did not intend to enslave people, but that was infrastructure of enslaving people through communism. And what it shows is that some people, for better or worse, have this heavier destiny weight to their name, and not to their name, to their existence. And what always fascinates me is that why am I even obsessed with this idea to begin with? Because that could be a very highly sophisticated coping mechanism that you literally say, okay, I'm not satisfied with my life, for instance, so I'm gonna elaborately design a whole cosmic philosophy to justify that. Most people do that to some extent, but when you look at my actual philosophy of life, is that I'm not saying spiritualism is the way to live, to not want wealth, and I'm not saying wealth is the way to live, to not want actual self-fulfillment, because I have had quite the share of both in my lifetime, as if I'm fucking 50 years old, but that's how people like me live. And what I'm understanding is like all of this is building towards something, and that's not like even a coping mechanism. It's like, on one hand, I have like objective kind of metrics for it that is oddly weird. Like, you don't find 25, 26 years old people writing at the level of fucking Dostoevsky and getting recognized by it by 4 to 5 bestsellers. That's just a pen. The law aspect, I'm constantly being circulated in circles that literally are awe-inspiring to me, and I'm being regarded as peers. This is weird, like I said it again. it's it's either a mass shared delusion on a kind of very large scale that not only I'm projecting my delusion, but also living that delusion and being so precise and meticulous that I'm translating this kind of objective achievements into disproportionate um, mythology building to hide my own actual dissatisfaction with the current state of my life and um, have the most sophisticated coping mechanism in history of humanity, or there's some truth to it. And when I go further is like, so if there is truth to it based on my own philosophy, that everyone lives their own philosophy to some extent, my philosophy is efficiency. And if I'm gonna do Albert Camus in this pitch, that his whole life was absurdism and he lived it every single fucking day. The Kafka's life was bureaucratic hell and insignificance of sense of self because his father instilled the idea in him. He literally was an insurance worker and hated every minute of it. Or is the Dostoevsky figure that he literally had a gambler lifestyle. Even when he was rich, he lived more lavishly and had more poor contracts to persist in living that lifestyle. So looking back at all of these, my whole philosophy of life has been efficiency. And this efficiency literally beckons that I live efficiently. Or it doesn't even break the Camus way that he hated the absurdist living that he was living, or even in his death. Because non-efficient living hasn't been my pattern at all in life. I'm literally, I turned 17 and I was panicking about legacy. Some sense of like insignificance in me drew me to go abroad and learn a couple of languages, to excel at law, and start writing. I've been writing since I was 8 years old, but the actual real like captivating writing that I did started when I was like 16, 17. Because the pattern was breaking, that it wasn't efficient for my age. And now even I'm looking at the materialistic reality of my situation that hasn't caught up yet. Sure, is just another 20 something years old trying to find their place. But anything other than material accomplishment so far has been like immaculate. I already have the appraisal and peer reviewed eyes of bestsellers, that I'm not even gonna associate my name with bestsellers because I'm not leeching off of their value. I'm just looking at it objectively that I'm a peer to their pen. Fuck it, some of them I'm superior to it. Call it ignorance or arrogance. They themselves say it, which is the fascinating thing. In law as well, it's like all of this is holding a pattern, the pattern of efficiency. I'm gonna call it the entropic efficiency, like the randomness that is so efficient that is becoming orderly manner of existence. And I wonder, okay, what something else is gonna happen to keep up the pattern, because the pattern has never broken down. The only time the pattern was about to break down was me being locked out of the global reach to these bestsellers, or to these Goliaths of law and regulations and everything, and I had the idea to go abroad. I am abroad now, and my reach is extending day by single day. So not only this pattern has to not stop, but also everything I'm doing is secretly contributing to actual aim and goal that I have. Even these videos, I'm literally dying to, no pun intended this time, I'm literally like itching to reveal why these videos are being made in this style, in this kind of thing. But I already know, like, the day that I'm gonna reveal that is gonna be much more fascinating to just say, okay, I called you, I told you so before. I'm literally hinting at it now. So, and about like the legacy aspect of it, I already have written a couple of books and have a couple of books in in my head to write, that it is already cemented, and it's just like how high it goes. And I'm just like wondering, okay, what is gonna be like the philosophy that I live? Because if my philosophy is efficiency of existence, not because of life is good, life is bad. No, life is, there's a con that they literally say, life is what you make it. But it goes deeper than that. Life is who you are. If you are efficient, life is efficient. If you are miserable, life is miserable. Not the temporary status of person, but the identity of the person that is literally core of who they are. Core of who I am is efficient. I literally think about one word 50 times before I utter it. That's the efficiency of it. That's like, funny enough, there's this inside joke with me and a couple of people I know, that every single time we go out and we talk to people in a party and whatever, half of my friends have this bet that someone in the first 20 seconds of talking to me is gonna somehow say, okay, I see you, you're smart. There's this, that's the inside joke, that it's just the pattern. Even like couple of days ago, I had this meeting with the CEO of a very like large, big company, and before we even started getting to the core of the idea, he was like, okay, I see you, you're smart, you're whatever. Sure, rubs the ego, but it's becoming annoying without the physical manifestation of smarts, because I said it again. Smarts means efficiency, and efficiency means I already should be a millionaire, not because millionaires live lavishly. I won't change my lifestyle if I was a fucking billionaire to begin with. It's just the efficiency requires that you cap out the hedonistic treadmill as soon as possible, then pivot to depth, because the actual depth is the aim. But I cannot say, okay, I'm I'm the greatest writer in fucking history of humanity, but be broke. That doesn't work, you know? I said it again. So I'm very curious how this is gonna age, this video, this thought processing, and this external reality that I'm kind of processing at this point. But one thing is sure and for certain, that most people, if not all, live their actual life based on their philosophy and their consistency of belief system. Not you believe one day, believe 2 days. No, you literally hone your identity around one philosophy. For someone is God, for someone is gratitude, for someone is lies, for someone is cheating, whatever. For me, it's efficiency. I don't give a shit about riches. I don't give a shit about glory. I don't give a shit about any of that. But I give a shit about the whole package. That you exist to plow everything. And after having experienced the pillage of the whole cosmos, you need to tangibly understand none of it means anything. You cannot understand none of it means anything without having experienced it. And you cannot skip any of these steps. That's the requirement of existence. You get everything and then feel how hollow it is, rather than skipping to, okay, it's hollow, so I'm not gonna try. But yeah.